In the middle of my wedding ceremony, realizing I'd made a terrible mistake.
Pause for a moment. I just realized when I got up to the end of the aisle that I'm missing half of my dress. Maybe I could put it on now. I'm sure you guys have never been to a wedding like this before. Okay, we can resume.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I was literally just thinking, like, even before she paused, I was thinking about how beautiful she looked. She looked so good, but that really was the finishing touch on the dress for sure. That's so hilarious. Honestly, like, for sure not how she probably envisioned the day going, but I kind of love that moment. It's just so real and everyone is laughing and having a good time, and she looked bomb. She looked so bomb. And that looked like a lovely wedding. I don't think she's a bridezilla. That's really funny. Oops. Oh my God, I hate this already. Freaking contract. All right, let's zoom right in so we can all see. Can you see this? Okay, my promises to you, blank. I will make every attempt to keep things inexpensive for everyone and treat your time and energy with all the respect it deserves. So it looks like there's 2 promises for her, and then your promises to me. You will purchase the decided upon bridesmaid dress when the time comes without a fuss, even if it wasn't the one you liked most. You will pay $100 deposit agreeing to these terms. The deposit will be added to your dress cost. Deposit non-refundable. So they're taking a deposit to be a bridesmaid? I don't know. Does that make sense? Like, I've obviously never gotten married before. I've never been a bridesmaid before either. Which, like, thank God, I'm not really interested. I don't know if that's mean or not, but like, I'm down to celebrate, but it's just a lot of responsibility, you know, a lot of stuff to do. My sister gets engaged on my 21st and has her bridal shower on my 22nd. I mean, fair enough, like, she could have picked any other day, and it's not like she just realized, you know, if it wasn't your sister, it would be different, but it's your sister, like, you've had to celebrate her birthday for forever. Why can't you choose, like, literally, like, the day after, or like 2 days after? I don't blame her. I would act the same way. Being maid of honor and telling the bride you don't know if you or others can spend $1,000 on her bachelorette party. Oh my gosh. I mean, like, yeah. I think it's pretty reasonable that not everybody is willing to spend or has the money. Like, even some people would be willing to spend it if they have it and they just don't have it. Like, how insane is that? You know what I mean? And you're gonna be ungrateful? No, no, no. And they got uninvited, not even just demoted. They got uninvited and blocked. Talk about entitled, man. You didn't want to go to the wedding anyway. It wasn't worth your $1,000 after all. My twin asked me to be her maid of honor, but told me I had to grow my hair out. That's so funny. Well, what did you expect your twin to do? They're not gonna listen to you. Gosh, no, they're your twin. Twins live for just bothering each other, really. Man, twin connection is just crazy. My little brother and sister are twins, and they're just like, I don't know, 2 peas in a pod, man. I love it. Twins are very cool. You got any twins in your life? Let me know. Identical twins? Crazy. Are you even a bride if you don't have a presentation slides and briefing for your bridesmaids? Yeah. Yeah, you are still. I mean, it's cute. It's cute. She's setting her expectations. As long as she's not going overboard, like, this could be very fun and funny, you know? Like, I would give my friends a PowerPoint presentation on something silly if they wanted. So, you know, this could be a really fun, funny, cute idea. As long as you're not being rude, essentially. As long as you're just being regular and making it fun and funny. But like, I don't think there's anything wrong with being like, these are all my plans and here's a silly way for me to present it to you. Because like, people need to know what you want and what your dates are and what you're looking for and all of that stuff, you know? I'm a big diva. 4 years ago, they got an award. Also, just like ironic nickname for what we're talking about right now, you know? Or like screen name. Imagine, that's what your friends call you as a nickname. I'm a big diva. Planner here. Okay, they're a wedding planner. I've seen some shit. Bride invites ex-boyfriend to wedding because, quote, he's just a really good friend. During reception, her husband of 2 hours goes to the bathroom. She plants a kiss on him, notices I saw, and promptly reminds me to mind my business. If somebody was like, mind your business, before I even said anything, I would be like, well, now I'm not going to, because you annoyed me. At the end of the night, catering informed me they hadn't settled their bill. If they didn't get payment that night, there would be an additional fee charged. I run outside and let them know before they drive off. 2 days later, I get a call from groom who informs me the bride is extremely upset with my unprofessionalism and wants a refund. Yeah. Good luck. She wasn't happy that I made a scene by running outside to tell them about the bill in an effort to save them from additional charges. I asked him if he was aware of the scene she made when she kissed ex-BF on the dance floor while he went to the bathroom. He hung up. Yeah, I mean, listen, I would have told him even before that. I would have told him about the bill and the kiss at the same time, okay? Yeah, mind your own business. How will you mind your business? If you were minding your business, you wouldn't be cheating on your literal brand new husband, and also you'd be settling that bill, crazy ass. People are entitled. Dang, I wonder what happened. I would have liked to be a fly on the wall for what happened after that. Bard lover. Not a bridesmaid, but a witness to one. The bride got walked out on by her entire bridal party except her maid of honor. Of course it was because no one loved her and everyone wanted to ruin her day, not because she ripped a bridesmaid's dress from the neck down in an open area because it was too white. It was the dress the bride insisted on all of the maids wearing. Of course. Absolutely, of course. I mean, why would it not be something absolutely insane like that? Also, just like the force to rip a dress, you gotta be angry. And if I was that bridesmaid, I don't think she would have gotten that far as to rip my dress. You know what I mean? Somebody approaching me? No ma'am. Also, how did the maid of honor stick around? I would have left too. I would have been like, oh, no thanks. Sorry, see you later. I once worked in a bakery and we had this bride freak out that her cake wasn't right and proceeded to smash it to bits with her fist. You know, like people do for like a 1-year-old on their birthday. Like a cake smash vibe. But this is just a full-grown woman having a tantrum. Nice. She smashed the wrong cake. Oh my god! I didn't even read that. I was like, this is already too much. Turns out there's more. Like, what the f***? Anyway, the cops allowed her to wash her hands before placing her in handcuffs, probably. I felt bad for the future husband and the couple that ordered said cake. People are cray-cray. Yeah. Like, what if there's not time to remake their cake now? Oh my god, that'd be devastating. Just because some Karen needed to freak out. Ugh, I hope she had to pay for both cakes. Her own and the couple's. And then she also got arrested. That's what happens. Dang. Hope it was worth it. Over a cake. How'd you get arrested? Oh, I threw a grown-up tantrum over a cake, because that's appropriate. Orbital cheese. Ew, they're little things like cockroach. I don't like that. Wedding band member here. Oh, that's a different point of view we don't usually get. Had a bride flip her shit at me and my bandmates because her instruments weren't white or salmon colored to fit in with the decorations. Oh no, how could they do that to her personally? And she was saying we would ruin the photographs. Absolutely. I completely agree. That makes a lot of sense. Even though I was playing during the reception and all the photos were already taken. Oh, what a surprise. A sunburst jazz bass, blue Stratocaster, and a red drum set aren't going to ruin your pictures, darling. I could not agree more. Also, if anyone was like, oh, that wedding sure did look nice, but the instruments, I would say, are you insane? So, like, wouldn't you rather just have an instrument that sounds good instead of, like, a salmon-colored guitar that sounds like shit? It makes no sense. Make it make sense, people. Orbital cheese. I'm still on that, by the way. Okay, deleted. Last weekend, a bride strides into a gorgeous rented chapel 4 hours early while 30 people are praying in her super short makeup robe, freaks out because one table was not set up at the moment, picks up a chair in front of everyone and throws it in a trash can. Yep, imagine. I mean, first of all, it's a church, lady, or a chapel, so it's gonna be used for other things. Also, throwing a chair in the... Imagine! Everyone's just trying to have a nice, like, time, just praying, good vibes, whatever. And she's like WWE. What a psychopath. I would have been like, you can't use the chapel anymore, sorry. You broke the rules already, so find somewhere else to have your wedding today. Good luck.
The final straw for me was when the bride demanded to see the toast I'd written so she could edit it. I mean, I don't know, the last time I checked, Your toasts are supposed to be, heartfelt. Even if you write them beforehand, because I know a lot of people run off script and they, start pouring out their heart and they're like, you know what? I really love you. We're not going to use a script. I've seen people even like throw away papers of their toast and be like, I'm just going to improvise. You know what I mean? The fact that the bride wants to edit it, that's a little bit questionable. It's giving Instagram model. It's giving, it's giving a lot of things that I'm not going to say because I feel like it's low-key going to be a little disrespectful. Y'all aren't going to know my face. I'm a new host on Central. Please be nice. Please welcome me with kindness. She reached out after the wedding to ask me how to return my gift for store credit. Bro. Hold on a minute, wait. We gotta turn this off for a second, you guys. Listen, I have worked in retail for a really long time, and I'm telling you right now, if anybody whose wedding I've showed up to ever came to me afterwards and asked me how to return the gift that I gave her for store credit, you're asking to never speak to me again, because wow, the audacity is insane. Like, can you imagine? You thought of this really nice, well thought out gift for someone, and all of a sudden they hit you back with a text, they call you and they're like, yo, like, how do I return this for store credit? What do you mean? I cannot. That is hilarious, you guys. The bride's father had a heart attack during her wedding, and as he was leaving on a stretcher, he yelled, how could you ruin my wedding like this? You know what that's giving me? That's giving me I don't love my father. Because I'm just kidding. But I mean, for real, if your father is having a heart attack on your wedding day, I would like to assume, or at least let me not assume, let me speak on personal experiences. I would like to say that I would rush after my father's aid. I feel like my husband would be standing at the altar waiting for me to get back from the hospital, because you best believe I'm hopping in the ambulance with my dad. Like, what do you mean, how could you ruin my wedding? Girl, that is not it. I'm sorry. Stop disrespecting these women and asking them to marry you with 1 carat rings. This sounds a little judgy, but okay. If you cannot afford a ring, 3 carats or better, approximately $3,500, you cannot afford a wife. You guys, y'all tell me in the comments below how you feel about that one, because I feel like that's a lot of audacity. I don't know. I feel like you really shouldn't be determining what or who deserves a partner or spouse based on how much money they're making or how much they spend on a ring. I think that's really superficial, and I think that's really shallow. Personally, I don't know how anybody else feels about that. I feel like obviously you want to set some boundaries. You want to make sure you're dating somebody who's living a steady income, but obviously not everybody is able to control the way that their life works or their life circumstances. And so I feel like saying that, especially without knowing people's situation, is really messed up. The bride was super controlling about RSVPs. If people hadn't responded before the RSVP date came, she would have had a panic attack. Let me stop you right there. Why are you so stressed about your wedding that you're going into a panic attack over RSVPs? My sister is an event planner, right? So I get it. RSVPing can be stressful, and I have watched her melt down 1 or 2 times. Not literally melting down, but like she's gotten a little upset. I'm not gonna lie. And you know what? I don't blame her. It is stressful. But a panic attack? Like, guys, let's be for real. A panic attack is serious. What are we doing? If you have to be having a panic attack over an RSVP, you need to be rethinking your guest list. That's all I'm gonna say. For example, if the RSVP date was October 1st, she was panicking. Sorry. If the RSVP date was October 1st, she was panicking by September 20th. Please, you guys, that took me out just now. So the bridesmaids had to call people and tell them the bride was having a panic attack because they hadn't responded yet. Same time, having the bridesmaids call the people who haven't RSVP'd, telling them that she's having a panic attack, that's it for me. That is an official way to make sure I do not show up at your wedding, okay?
Oh my gosh. Man, people really be out here letting one song ruin their whole special day? Like, look at everything around you. Look at yourself. Like, everything there looks so beautiful and like a literal fairy tale. Like, just chill on the song, you know? Who cares? Literally, I mean, maybe there's something I'm missing. Maybe it's like there's a reason it's so important, but it's like, just get him to play the song, you know what I mean? Be like, no, I'm gonna sit here, but I'm gonna be happy still. I just don't want her to be sad on her wedding day. The bride kicked the groom's lifelong best friend out of the wedding party because he lived with his girlfriend and she wanted her entire wedding party to be pure. First of all, what does that mean? Because it doesn't seem very pure to kick out your soon-to-be husband's best friend because of your beliefs and the way that you want him to live his life. That seems like the opposite of pure. That seems quite rude, if you ask me. Also, that's a red flag for the person who's about to marry her, in my opinion. I went to a wedding in which the father of the groom died of a massive heart attack. Well, the bride threw a fit and wouldn't let the groom leave with his father. Instead, she insisted that the wedding go on and not ruin her night. Girl, first of all, I have some bad news for you. That day of your anniversary is never gonna be your anniversary anymore. So you have to think about that. Somebody died, lady. You could get married 100 times over and whatever, who cares? The man died. What the heck? These entitled Karens really be out here thinking that their wedding is more important than somebody's dad's life? I would get a divorce. Because at that point, if it's the reception, I'm assuming you're probably already married at that point, so I would get a divorce immediately. An annulment, you can get annulled. A girl I went to high school with threw a fit and nearly called off her wedding because her florist couldn't find flowers that perfectly matched her lipstick. Wow, crazy, that's crazy. Imagine being like, oh, this thing that they make like in a lab? I mean, I can't believe you can't find anything that grows from the ground naturally that matches it. Like, this isn't paint. We're not at Home Depot. I bet the lipstick wasn't even good enough for that either. Do you think that anybody's gonna notice that? Oh, those flowers, they were close, but not quite a perfect match. Bridezilla wants fiance to have matching eyes in wedding. Am I the asshole for asking my fiance with heterochromia to wear contact lenses for our wedding photos? Yeah, you are. Oh, they got the poop knife word. That's so funny. Yeah, you are 1,000,000% asshole for that. First of all, why do you care? Second of all, are you marrying this person? So you have no problem with their eyes then, obviously. Because first of all, who has a problem with eyes? With somebody else's eyes? Where do these Karens find the time? I really don't understand. I'm shocked at this. Entitled Bridezilla cousin wants OP's wedding. Okay, am I the asshole for not letting my cousin borrow my wedding dress? No. What? That's not. You're not the asshole. I'm like surprised. Usually I see ones that are the asshole, but no, I don't think that's asshole-ish at all. I'm so confused. I literally have nothing to say about this because I'm like, no, you're simply not. They can get their own wedding dress. That's really how it, borrow too. Not even pay for, borrow. My cousin's watching this right now. My friend asked me to literally cut my hair for her wedding, saying that it was too long and would take too long to do. Is she doing it? Because if not, I really don't understand where that's coming from. Also, saying that it was too long and it would take too long to do, I don't think that's like a real thing. What if she just had shorter hair but like had a lot of hair? Would you be like, can you get that thinned out for me? Man, like what in the world? I just don't understand, especially when you're planning a wedding and then on top of all of the other like regular day-to-day like life things you have to do, how you would find the time to be like, can you change your eyes and can you change your hair? And can you not live with your girlfriend? Like how on earth do you have time to focus on so many other things? I don't know. It's just so busy. It's just too busy. Bride flips at bridesmaid's hair. Uh-oh, let's go.
Talking.
I'm not talking. You're the one who's making this whole thing a problem and no one wants to be a part of it
Actually,
no more.
you're the one making it a problem. You're the one refusing to pit your hair up.
Are you done?
Pit your hair up. I'm stopping you because you're throwing a little bit.
Part of it.
This day isn't about you. This day is about me and Gil.
I'd rather have someone else.
I will chase her. Is it illegal to murder people on your wedding day?
This is fake, for sure. This is definitely fake, okay? Sometimes I have a hard time with the fake ones. I think, actually, I say that, but I think that I'm decent at spotting them. Sometimes I miss it because I want all these to be real, but I think that this one's fake. I mean, she was laughing. Also, like, why would anybody have a problem with her hair? It looks fine. You know? You never know. I also think that nobody should have a problem with somebody being like, hey, I just like don't think I can spend like over $1,000 on this one party. You know, I think people should be reasonable about that, but That's not the case. As much as we would love for you to attend, sadly, our venue cannot accommodate everyone. We are sure to keep you in our hearts in this celebration of love. If you would like to congratulate the bride and groom rather than a registry, they are accepting money to aid in a beautiful honeymoon. See, this is what the other people should have done, but like to the people who are coming to their wedding. Don't ask people to give you stuff when you don't invite them, you know? I just think it's like an even deeper wound to be like, yeah, sorry, you just didn't quite make the cut. Anyway, money please? So weird. I was maid of honor for my friend's wedding. Here's a list. No one was allowed to wear heels because she didn't want anyone to be taller than her. She was already at least 3 inches taller than any girl at her wedding. There were 6 bridesmaids, including me, right? No one was allowed to wear false eyelashes except for her, because you know, the big puffy white dress doesn't make you stand out enough. It's so true. That's insane. If somebody was like, no heels allowed, I would be like, no problem, man. No problem. I'd wear sneakers. No false eyelashes. Also no problem, but it's just crazy. It's just a little controlling. It's giving Bridezilla for sure. Would I be the asshole if I refused to attend my cousin's wedding after she asked me to dye my ginger hair? No. I would just say, no, I'm not gonna do that. And then if she's like, well, then you can't come to the wedding, then that's you didn't not attend. You didn't refuse to attend. I mean, you clearly don't even wanna go now, which is fine. I don't blame you at all for not wanting to go, because it's just strange and you have beautiful hair. Why do people ask people to dye their hair? Also, like, I know that some people ask because it's like crazy bright colors, like a crazy pink or bright blue or something, which I also still don't agree with, but at least I like can see the thought pattern behind it, if that makes sense. Not justifying it is stupid, but you get what I'm saying. But like something that's like a clearly natural color like this, so weird. One last thing, I'll be sending my Venmo and Cash App to the ones who haven't paid the $500 donation towards honeymoon in Hawaii. Love you guys, can't wait to be a wifey. Imagine the $500 donation. You can't accept donation. Like that's just insane. $500. If you were like in lieu of gifts, you know, if you just like what you would spend on a gift, you want to like throw our way so that we can put it towards the honeymoon. Yeah, 100%. That is your prerogative. People usually get gifts at weddings. People are usually ready to spend a little bit of money anyway. So like, might as well do that. Definitely makes sense if you want to go on this crazy honeymoon to Hawaii. $500. Also, like, imagine how many people are you assuming would be at this wedding? And everyone gives you $500? Oh my gosh, that's like the most lavish trip I've ever heard of. Or it's not going to the honeymoon. Which is, I mean, I would rather have you be like, can you donate me $500 so I can pay my rent? But then I'd be like, why are you having a wedding? My cousin married a vapid idiot. The night before the wedding at the rehearsal, she figured the flower girl had the same shoes as her in a much smaller size. She flipped her shit at 9 p.m., made the mother of the flower girl buy different shoes for her before the ceremony. That's what happens when you buy your shoes from Payless. Not much of a selection in white. Yikes, that could have been so cute and a nice sweet moment, but instead, she turned into a bridezilla, you know? Also, like, even if you did have a problem with it in whatever world, like whatever, but there's just other ways to fix this problem. Like, there are other shoes that exist. You could have offered to buy her another pair of shoes. You could have just like nicely asked. You could have gone and gotten a new pair of shoes for yourself. Like, there's so many options, and just being an asshole, it should have been the last one. Johnny Tremaine. My wife was extremely cranky and yelling at everyone all day because things weren't perfect. The funny thing is, her behavior was causing a lot of stuff to not be perfect, as that usually happens. The straw that broke the camel's back was when she threw a beer bottle at the DJ's head when he turned on a song she didn't like. Our marriage only lasted a year. I mean, I'm surprised that it lasted a year. Also, you can't throw things at people. I hope that DJ like sued her. I would have gotten her arrested on her own wedding day for throwing a beer bottle at my head, you psychopath. Absolutely not. At what point during that wedding, like when you're the person marrying this other person who's going crazy, at what point do you go, this seems like now it's a really bad idea? I'm just saying. Okay, so Slalomy sandwich. I read one on Hell of a Wedding of a bride who kept gaining weight and would scream each time the wedding dress fit wasn't the same as the previous fitting appointment, claiming that the store was switching out different dresses each time, ripping her off or something. Ugh, that would be crazy. Because as like a person who's trying to fit the wedding dress, first of all, that'd be really annoying to just have to keep doing the same thing over and over again. But also, like, how do you just like gently explain the reason why when somebody's like screaming at you? Because for sure at some point you have to be honest about those things, like she needs to wear a dress and the dress needs to fit on the day for sure, and like there's no like shame in it, but it's just an awkward conversation to have. Dang. Also, that's just insane. Yeah, you're switching the dress out on me every time. Wouldn't it be so expensive for them to just have to get the same dress multiple times in different sizes? My mother was a church organist and attended many weddings. Very cool. I suppose the story that stands out was of the bride who, when asked, "Do you take this man?" ... broke down and said, "No, I can't. I don't love him," and ran out of the church. It was a smallish town. People found out that she had met somebody new, fallen hopelessly in love with him. Oh my gosh. And she waited till the altar? Like it's freaking Love is Blind or something? Like there's just so many other points and moments where you could say this. Why at the altar? Why waste everyone's time? Why publicly humiliate this person who's like clearly in love with you because you went out and were whatever, gallivanting around town and found somebody new to fall in love with? I can't, like, nobody can fault you for not being in love with this person and for finding a new relationship that you enjoy, but we can fault you for this infidelity and for the way that you handled the situation, and we will fault you for that, Miss Bridezilla. During the mixed gender bachelor party, the bride-to-be got in a spat with the groom and slept with another guy. Wedding was off the next morning. They lost 10K plus. He took her back a couple of months later. Oh my gosh. Listen, it's not up to me to decide what people should and shouldn't do, but come on. You get in one fight before your wedding and you're sleeping with someone else, and then you lose $10,000, and then you go, you know what? Never mind. I couldn't. I would be so mad. $10,000? No, I could get like so many things for $10,000. No, couldn't be me. I'd be so pissed. I am pissed just looking at this.
The week leading up to the wedding, the temp for the big day, oh, temp is temperature, by the way. The week leading up to the wedding, the temp, meaning temperature, for the big day was forecast to be a high of 10 degrees Fahrenheit. February wedding, NEUS. Bride was insisting on outdoor photos without coats because we can't hide the dresses. Everyone, including the photographer, tells her, hell no. Day of, she pitches a fit when we refuse to do more than one quick photo. Okay. Afterwards, she stopped talking to 75% of the bridal party because of their refusal to accommodate her outrageous demands. To this day, years later, she still complains about how her bridesmaids ruined her wedding. You guys, that's crazy. First of all, if it was a February wedding, can we just talk about something real quick? Because our February weather down here is ridiculous, like -15 and -20 on a good winter, right? If you're asking me to be outside in the cold and you're mad that I don't want to take more than 1 or 2 photos, girl, that is on you. That is on you, because I am not gonna be standing outside freezing for you. I don't care if it's your wedding day. I just think it's funny that she stopped talking to more than half of the bridal party because they didn't want to accommodate for her. Bridezilla forbade the groom being in any I was about to say photographs. What is that? All right, let's try that one more time. Bridezilla forbade the groom from being in any photographs without her. Just as the title states, I used to be her MOH, and she was having a rant to me about how horrible, I think that's supposed to be to me. And she was having a rant to me about how horrible her future MIL was because she wanted a wedding photo of the groom with his 2 sisters. She thought it was disrespectful to her as the bride. I think if a bride is forbidding their husband / the groom from doing anything, I think that shows signs of a very toxic relationship. More specifically, it feels very controlling. I don't have any prior knowledge of what the relationship is like, so maybe that's normal, and maybe I'm reading too much into things, but that's low-key giving toxic. So yeah, just a little bit, not gonna lie. Okay, this is one of those am I the things. So, for being mad that the best man only danced with me once. A little bit, yes, because the best man's time is not devoted to you during a ceremony, during a wedding, at any time. So yeah, I think you're a bit of an asshole, but you know what? That is up to everybody's judgment. I'm not going to, you know what? I just did judge you by calling you an asshole, but to be fair, it's because I think you are. Moving on. Went to a wedding that was a dry wedding only. She refused to let anyone bring alcohol, and the wedding was in the middle of nowhere. The wedding was several hours before the reception, and there was absolutely nothing to do. There was no entertainment, no food, no drinks, etc. We had to wait for 4 hours for them. Then the bridal party shows up and they had alcohol for themselves. Our entire group left. Okay, we're just gonna clear that screen for a second. First of all, if you're demanding that your wedding is a dry wedding, why do the bridal party then show up with alcohol? Very much giving contradictive. And then on top of that, we're gonna talk about the fact that the wedding was in the middle of nowhere, so inconveniencing your guests. And it was several hours before the reception. Now, I've been to a wedding with a really long gap between the wedding and the reception, and I'm telling you right now, that is agony. Like, you don't know what to do with yourself. You cannot go home, especially if she's talking about this wedding being in the middle of nowhere. You cannot just go home and be like, okay, I'll show back up to the reception in a couple hours. Sometimes the reception and the wedding are on two opposite sides of the city. Sometimes the wedding and the reception are right next to each other, but you can't get in until the time starts. There is so much that could go wrong for that. It's the fact that she said over 4+ hours. I would have took myself home, but you know what? They did, because their entire group eventually left. So kudos to them, hats off, I guess.
My best friend got mad at me that I was away at college while she was planning her wedding because she thought I should be there with her instead. Yeah, I mean, your best friend's wedding or an education. It really is these two things that everyone is faced with in their life. Which one do you do? Which one's the right path to take? If your friend is gonna get mad at you for being at college while she's trying to plan her wedding, then you need to find a new best friend at college, I think. That's just my opinion, but I think maybe we need to move on from that friendship, because that's crazy. At a wedding I went to, the bride replaced a bridesmaid of hers at the last minute because she dyed her hair a slightly lighter brown the night before. Apparently didn't match the dress, which was bright pink. I mean, you know, bright pink and all those matching colors it has. What in the world? Like, what do you mean she dyed her hair and it didn't match the dress? That makes no sense. Can we talk about how bridesmaid dresses are always ugly? I don't know what it is. I mean, there has been nice ones. I will say that I have seen nice ones. But some of the time, I'm like, does the bride have a vendetta? Did she got something to prove? What's going on here? My cousin had a screaming hissy fit because none of her bridesmaids could afford to attend her dream bachelorette party in Vegas. We're on the East Coast. Yeah, I mean, that's really far away. I think it's pretty reasonable to not be able to afford a trip to Vegas? I don't know, it's not the cheapest place that exists in the entire world, first of all, and not everyone has money to just go on a trip at any given time, you know? Like, even if it was a weekend away, sometimes people don't have money for that, so I don't know, that just seems crazy. That just seems crazy. A screaming hissy fit? Like, being upset is like, whatever, you know, you're entitled to your feelings, whether they're valid or not. Well, they're always valid. Your feelings are always valid. Whatever, they're your feelings, you can't control them. But a screaming hissy fit is maybe taking it a little too far. You know what I mean? It's just a little cross the line, I would say. Last weekend, a bride strode into a gorgeous rented chapel 4 hours early while 30 people are praying in her super short makeup robe and freaked out because one table was not set up at that moment. She picked up a chair in front of everybody and threw it in a trash can. Yep. Imagine 4 hours early and you pick up a chair and throw it in a trash can because a table's not set up? Well, what if that chair was gonna go at that table you want set up so bad, but now it can't because it's in the trash can? Jeez Louise. Also, how uncomfortable. Well, 30 people are praying? Oh my god, can I tell you guys this story? Okay, so I don't come from like a super religious family. Don't be upset about that. It just is what it is, okay? So we don't really say a grace before we eat. So it's something that sometimes I forget that other people do. So I was serving one day and I was running food and I 1,000,000%, me and a bunch of other servers, because it was like a large table, ran all this food over in the middle of their grace. And I've never been so uncomfortable in my life. I don't pray, but I respect other people's, you know, their routines. That's what I'm trying to say. So I can't imagine having a hissy fit, like walking in while 30 people are praying. Like, I would be mortified. I would leave and come back tomorrow. I'd miss my own damn wedding. I had a friend that threw a temper tantrum complete with screaming and what is it with people screaming? Like, I really have never seen an adult do this in front of my own eyes. Because her grandmother had the audacity to die a few hours before her wedding. I mean, that grandma and the audacity. She said it would throw off the seating arrangements because now there would be a big empty space. Oh my god, Karens are really worried about people's eyes, people's hair length, and the seating arrangements? Because now there's gonna be a big empty space because your grandma died? That's insane. I think that was just somebody's grief coming out in a different way, because that seems crazy.